Before recording this, I just want to say sorry if I sound sick. It's because I am. My throat hurts. I have a stubby nose, but I wanted to do this. So, yippee, here we go. Depression is a serious mental health issue in the world today, but in most media it is falsely portrayed as sadness when it goes much deeper than that, with a bunch of side effects that most of the time go unnoticed by people around them and the person themselves. According to the World Health Organization, 85% of people in the middle and low income countries don't get treated for depression, and in the US, only half of the people with depression get the treatment they need. So today I wanted to look at the parts of media that do get depression right. So let's take a look. Freaks by Surf Curse was originally released all the way back in 2013, but got a re-release on May 15, 2021 by Atlantic Records. The song then became very popular, most of the time seen with this meme of a fish spinning, replacing the main line of "I am just a freak" with "I am just a fish." The song is also associated with the anime Bocchi the Rock. Good anime, by the way, I recommend it. With its main character, Hitori, an upcoming rock star who has severe social anxiety. The song starts out with the guitar riff you've all probably heard a bunch, and we eventually hear the first verse. This line is the singer asking for a place to stay where he won't be judged or looked down on. He thinks that everyone else does judge him. This is a big part of depression, the constant fear of being judged and feeling like you are lesser than others. Then we get to the name of the song and the popular meme. This is the singer saying to the listener to not worry, to not cry for them. They are a freak. They are not normal and deserve to feel the way they do. A common symptom of depression is self-loathing, feeling like you deserve to be treated and deserve to feel the way you do about yourself, and don't wish for the pity of others. The song then repeats the line a few times before going back to the guitar riff for a little bit before picking up back with the verses again. And this is where it really starts to get into depression. So buckle up. This is talking about how most people with depression have these voices in their heads that tell them these awful things. They're parasites. Most people call them their inner demons, which, you know what? Pretty damn accurate. These parasites, or demons if you will, are telling them that they are the problem, and everyone is secretly judging them when in the reality they aren't. Which leads me to my next verse of... This lyric pretty much means that what they see is a twisted version of reality where they think they are, where they think they see people looking at them with disgust. Everyone is secretly judging them. When in reality that is not happening. When in reality it's nothing. It's their mind's own twisted, fucked up version. Then we get to the part that isn't so much about depression as more so being alone, which can definitely be linked to depression. I'm going to say this real quick in between lines. This next part does imply a very serious topic, so here is your warning. If you don't like to hear about this kind of thing, skip to this timestamp here. This line, if you couldn't tell from the disclaimer before, is implying that the singer doesn't want to be in this reality anymore and wants to live out his dreams. Sadly, the way that most people do this is through, in case you couldn't tell yet, I'm pretty passionate about this stuff, getting out there and people learning about this because, my god, does it suck. Okay, now that that's over with, we're on to... Why'd I say over with? Why? like it's something bad, no. Anyway, next up. Another thing that gets depression right, Sayori and Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, if you don't know the story of Doki Doki Literature Club, here's a quick recap. We are a young boy in high school, and we walk to school every day with our childhood friend Sayori. And she's been trying to convince us to join a club, more specifically her club. We go to her club at the end of the day and meet the members: Monica, the club leader; Yuri, the residential shy girl; and Natsuki, the stereotypical tsundere baker. After writing poems and hanging out with the girls, they each start to go mad over us. Weirdly, except Nat, who kind of just gets worried over the others. But Monica, who is self-aware AI, and wants us for herself, not like the in-game actual us, and programs the others to go mad and eventually do bad things. Yuri cuts herself. Natsuki has a forced snap neck, which still gives me the shivers. And Sayori gets depressed and commits unaliving. But up to that point, we do see signs of depression. Not the typical sadness like most people think depression is, but her suddenly getting tired and wanting everyone else to have fun and to not worry about her. And later she tells us she's been depressed and tells us more, like she can barely get out of the bed in the morning because she can't find a reason to, and eventually breaking down in tears after trying to be her happy self for so long. She then confesses her love to us, and we have the option to confess back to her or not. No matter what option we pick, we end up going to her house the next day and see this. She ends up committing unaliving herself. Sorry, I wish I could say the other word, but sadly I can't, because YouTube. Despite our choice to either be with her or not, this should just say how much depression can affect a person, enough to drive them down this path, especially when the person you end up falling for, who is your best friend, says no to your confession. And even if they say yes, it could seem forced. Feeling tired and wanting everyone else to have fun with them is a sign, not always, of suicide. And we see these signs with Sayori, her wanting everyone in the club to have fun without her, her not showing up to the club randomly, and as she says herself, I can't find a reason to get out of bed in the morning, which is why she is sometimes late in the morning. I also want to point out, this is in the script, but I don't know why I didn't write it down. Her wanting everyone in the club to have fun without her is a way of her trying to push herself out. So even when she is gone, you won't notice. Next up, and our last one for today, is a short animation by Awkward, which will be linked in the description, called Are You Okay?, based on a true story apparently with his brother. The animation's only about a minute long, but has a lot of signs and other things that really accurately portray depression. The animation starts out with a character on the left with a lighter blue background asking a character to the right, you guessed it,
Are you okay?
It then cuts to the character to the right who has darker blue background, similar to how rain looks on a window. With his wide eyes, says what you might expect.
Yeah?
Now making direct eye contact with the person on the left, signaling a lie or a cover for something else. We cut back to the guy on the left who then asks,
Have you been crying?
It once again goes back to the man on the right, who says,
No.
looking a tad bit more sad. The other guy asks,
Do you want to talk about it?
not pushing the other guy about what he was crying about. And despite the other guy saying he didn't.
No.
The guy says no while looking down to the side, showing a sign of he truly doesn't want to talk about what it is. But the guy on the right, being the nice guy, the guy on the right, the guy on the left, being the nice guy, doesn't push him or force him to talk, but instead responds with the one thing most people want to hear.
Do you want a hug? Yeah.
In which the other guy responds back with a slight shoulder raise and an eyebrow furrow. Then with a cracked voice, says, eyes still looking to the side. Then the other guy walks across the screen and gives him a hug. In response, he closes his eyes, taking a moment, and places his head on his shoulder. Now, this is honestly one of the more. It isn't really like something. It's part of it is part of media technically, but it doesn't. How do I put this? It isn't like big mainstream, kind of like Doki Doki and Freaks are, but it still is worth noting because if you do happen to meet someone who has depression, the guy on the left did the very much appropriate thing, not pushing it, not forcing anything out, but instead just offering support, which is what you should do. You should obviously encourage them to seek help, but if you force it, it'll end up just getting worse. Like I said earlier, I take this kind of stuff very seriously and I'm very passionate about it because it's a very serious topic, and I wanted to make this video to show you what depression really is about. It's more than just being sad for a longer period of time than normal, because that could literally be anything. Like, just because you're, say, grieving over the loss of another one doesn't mean you're depressed. And likewise, you seeming happy all the time doesn't mean you aren't depressed. It just means you haven't realized it yourself yet. And I want to point this out. This video is not a, way of diagnosing yourself. I would 100% go to a medical professional if you maybe see signs in yourself of this. Once again, all the signs in this video don't always lead to depression. I need to clarify that. But with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this more educational video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.